Alrighty, welcome back in everybody, and like I said, it's going to be the same day as the last video, on this series, to where we can get our planting done and all that. We got everything else done that we needed to get done while I was in server today. Last night technically is when I finished that other video. But we got the bales wrapped, got them windrowed, picked up. They're back at the farm on the trailer. Everything's good to go. We got all the fields limed, fertilized, ready to go, so there's nothing to do on that. Nate also came down and helped me roll the grass field, so it should be good to go till it grows up. Then we can put another layer of fertilizer on it. But if you guys do like this type of content, please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn that notification bell to where you guys don't miss any future uploads. Also, want to give a big shout out to G Portal. Thank you for hosting today's video. So now let's get into the goodies. We got to get to planting, guys. We are really far behind everybody. We're far behind Nate, Connor, and also cool thing is, Jay actually joined us today for a little bit. I got on here, got some miscellaneous things done on the farm, and then I also helped Nate get some of his stuff done to where I can go and record my video. But other than that, you guys, everything is working out great. We got the planter all pulled out. It's all set up and ready to go. We got it hooked up to the 4440, and we're just going to park the good old Ford right here. And another thing, when I first set this truck up, it didn't allow me to make it a dually, but I think now, since it'll allow me to make it a dually, I'm going to do that. But the first order of business of today's video, before we get to planting our corn, we got to go feed some cattle. So let me just, here's a little door right here. We got to get in here, get the old TMR. Actually, we can't feed the cattle right now. They should have plenty of food, plenty of feed, 10,184 liters plus the grass pasture. Yeah, we'll be fine. I do got to get a front loader attachment for either this tractor or get a skid steer. So let me just go ahead and just jump you guys straight into it. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to go and start planting some corn, and we're going to start with the field right here next to the farm and get it out of the way. And I'm going to put all the fields that we're going to do corn in, well, that we're going to plant in corn, I'm going to put them all in the time lapse, and then we may end up saving one field for soybeans, which is probably going to be field 15, because I feel like 21 and 6 we should be able to get plenty of silage off of. And if we end up filling up our harvester silo with silage again, well, with chaff, we will just keep it going, and I will just make another video. Well, obviously I'm going to make another video, but I'll put the rest of the corn into the one grain bin that we have over there, or even the ag bag. So let's just go and jump straight into it. Get it on. Let me turn on some music, jump you guys into a time lapse, and I hope you all enjoy. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed that there time lapse of us getting both of them fields planted, ready to go to where we can get the silage chopping and possibly have to harvest some of it. I was contemplating during the time lapse on whether or not to plant soybeans into this field, but after push came to shove, I realized that that'd be my best bet until our cattle, until our Angus cattle start reproducing into other cattle to where we can actually get some money from them as well. So this may be the only year that we plant soybeans, or we may go another year planting soybeans. It just really depends on the cattle, because I really just want to focus on that aspect of this series of just doing cattle and nothing but cattle. But right now we're going to just do this one field of soybeans for now, put it in our grain bin, and then just see where it goes from there. Hopefully our cattle start reproducing. I know our dairy cattle have produced 472 liters of milk, and they have no straw in their pen. I gotta put straw in their pen when we get back. But after I get done with this field, I'm going to go ahead and go over and get them some straw. But let me give Nate a call. I know he's pretty much done with everything. I'll see if he wants to come down here and help me get this field knocked out with soybeans and everything and all that stuff. So let me just go and undeafen here real quick and see if he's on the radio. Yo, Nate, you got your ears on?
Go ahead.
Hey, are you very busy? I know you just picked up them sheep. Do you have them all straightened out and everything? Good to go?
Oh, yeah.
If you're not doing too much, you want to grab your planter and possibly come down here and help me knock this field out real quick. This is my last field I gotta do.
Which field are you in?
My biggest field that I actually had to harvest last year.
So the northern?
Yeah, the one up there, it's field 15 right across the railroad tracks from your farm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm planting soybeans. I had no choice to this year.
Oh, why?
Well, considering the bank account's $82,456, my cattle haven't started reproducing yet. I only got 472 liters of milk, and I almost went bankrupt, but thanks to you buying that corn, it saved me a little bit, and then with me selling them 2 Meridian flat bottom bins, I was able to get a little bit of money back. I gotta do what I gotta do this year at least. Hopefully next year my cattle will be going pretty well, and I'll be able to actually I'll be able to focus just on that right there. And I'll have to worry about planting soybeans anymore.
Right. Yeah, I'm on my way.
Alrighty.
So I'll be
Sounds
there
good.
in like 2 minutes.
Alrighty, sounds good. Alrighty, so it looks like we got Mr. Nate coming up here to help us plant this field. He's got the same planter I do, except for his has fertilizer tanks on it. Mine don't, because, well, these, as you guys seen in the time lapse in the last episode, these fields are going to do great with fertilizer. All but that one. I didn't get to do that one with UAN 32. That's my grass field, so I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you guys were going good. And after we get done with this, I do got to run up the dealership. I talked to Nate. He's the sort of the part-time dealership guy right now until one of the full-time guys gets back from vacation, and he's going to, I gotta meet him up there later after we get this done, and I'm gonna try to buy, some sort of vehicle or telehandler or something like that to be able to load our bales into the TMR mixer, because we can't lift them big old things. So let me get this field knocked out, and I'll see you guys when we're heading up to the dealership. Alrighty, so it's been a few months since we've been in here. Well, since you guys seen us planting everything. Everything's planted. Everything's growing fairly good. I mean, growing good. Soybeans are growing good. We're going to get some really good yields off all 3 of them fields. And our wheat is ready to harvest. We went ahead and fast forwarded to July, and I went ahead and borrowed Nate's Macdon and mowed the grass field over there so it's ready to go. It's just out drying and everything like that. And then we'll eventually have to ted it and windrow it and get that going and everything like that. But right now we got to get the 8650 hooked up to the grain cart because we got some wheat to harvest. Also, you guys may be wondering why we're down a little bit of money. It's because I had to repurchase our soil samples, and where everything was up to date, nothing was outdated. And with precision farming beyond here, I might just end up buying the ISRO Pro thingy and just using that to soil sample our fields, where all I have to do is just send the soil samples in, and then we'd be good to go. But yeah, Nate's already started on some of his fields, getting them harvested and everything like that. I know earlier today, he started harvesting his stuff, and some parts of his fields were yielding pretty good, other parts weren't. But I know that the way that No Creek made this map is if it's closer to the tree line the yields are going to be a lot lower, and the more you get into the middle of the fields, the better the yield's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this hooked up. I'm going to get it put down, well, taken down to the field, and then we're going to start our wheat harvest. And I feel like the easiest way for us to earn money off of our wheat is if we go into productions, and it's going to run us 36 grand, but it will definitely help out in the long run because it'll save us, you know, some money. It'll actually bring us in more money. I just gotta find the little production real quick, the little flower production. So this little guy right here, 36 grand and some change wherever I placed it at. I think I'm gonna just place it right here by that, and we'll smooth all this out and get everything good to go. So yeah, we're gonna put our flour and, well, our wheat in here, and then it'll turn it into flour for us to where we can start producing money off of that. Yeah, let me get the harvester and the header and all that taken down there to the wheat field, get all that set up and ready to go, and then I'll bring you guys back in as we're starting to harvest that wheat field. We are here at the field and we're cutting into it. We got the straw swath going. We're getting anywhere between 47 to 68% on the headlands, which is not bad at all. I mean, granted, yeah, the yield's going to be a little lower on the headlands, like I said, you know, earlier before we set everything up. But other than that, you guys, we're at 3%, 309, well, about a little over 400 liters in the harvester right now. Everything is cutting good. The reel's working good. The auger's working good. The harvester is definitely working good. And I want to go a little bit further. We do got a straw swath land because we do need the straw off of our wheat for our cattle pen. And I also got to try to figure out a way to get at least some sort of like telehandler or even like a skid steer or a front loader for one of the tractors as well, because we need to be able to pick up the bales, put them in the pen, and then also be able to pick up the bales, put them in the self-propelled feed mixer, and where we can start making some more TMR. Luckily, Nate came down when I first got the thing, and he had a tractor with a front loader when we first started this series, and he put a couple of hay bales into the TMR mixer for me to where I can make one batch of TMR and everything like that. But other than that, you guys, this is going great. I'm really enjoying this series, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the series as well. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of it. We've gotten a lot done on, you know, just in this episode. We got all 3 of our fields planted, and we fast forwarded time, you know, because we really didn't have much going on, and, well, I need the straw and I need the wheat as well now to be able to put into our little production facility to make flour out of it and get us another source of revenue coming in and income to where we can just keep up on the money instead of going into financial debt. But if I want to buy some of that stuff, I already know I have $1 million loan out for the farm, but I might have to take out a little bit more of a loan to see if I can go up to the dealership and buy a telehandler, a front loader, or even, you know, like maybe even a wheel loader to where we can be able to load our bales and everything. I also want to get a skid steer because it'll help out, you know, just moving bales, you know, around the farm and moving them just from the barn. Like if they just need a singular straw bale, I can just pick it up with the skid steer and put it in there. And also a skid steer is a good thing to have on a farm because, well, you know, lifting bags of lime seeds for like pallets of seed and everything, you know, to be able to just move it around the farm. So we definitely need to get a skid steer as well. But other than that, you know, we're up to 18% in the harvester. The gleaner is doing really well. And let's actually just lift up the reel real quick. Let's jump back behind the harvester here, walk back a little ways, and it's really hard to see the straw swath, but you can see it right there. I'm going to come through here with a windrow, and I'm going to windrow it all into bigger rows. But there's not, it looks like maybe everything's just coming, like a couple of pods of wheat are coming off the header. But other than that, you guys, we're doing pretty good. We're not losing too much grain out of the back. It's mainly just from us hitting it with like hitting the reel in the header and everything like that. So what I'm going to do is, you guys, I'm just going to get in here and I'm just going to get some of this wheat harvested, and then I'll bring you guys back in when we're either halfway through the field, done with the field, or we are unloading into the grain cart, which is right there in the opening. I'll see you guys here in a bit, and then when we come back in the next round, that'll probably be the end of the video, because this video is going to be a decent sized video, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. Alrighty, so we are roughly halfway done with this field, and like I was saying, this big divot right here, you know, I'm just gonna run over this the heck with it. That little bit ain't gonna make much of a difference. In the middle of the field, like right here, is where I hit like 118% yield. And filled up the hopper for the first time, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna unload it into the grain cart, and then I will see you guys after we get the field done. Alrighty, so we finally got that field picked of the wheat. Everything went good. We actually done pretty good on yield somewhat. Hopefully my tractor, nope, make sure we're not going to hit anything, and I'll show you guys the yield here. In some spots we yielded above 118, 110 and all that stuff, but the outside of the fields were a little on the red side, which is fine, you know, but I mean, we were still averaging 70 to 80% on the headlands of the field. That is our only wheat field that we got. I could really double crop soybeans in there if I wanted to, but I only want to do the one field of soybeans for now and see what I get out of that. But as for now, we got to take all this wheat and dump it into our little flour mill over here to where we can start getting this going and grinding up wheat to make flour out of, to where we can then sell this flour to a bakery, to a, you know, just to anybody that wants some flour and be able to, you know, make more revenue income. Oh, we can do oat flour, rice flour, wheat flour. So let's go ahead and activate the wheat. We got 17,000, 19,000. So we got 19,000 liters of wheat, and we want this to change output mode to storing. So there we go. Now we're going to start making some wheat flour, and yeah, I mean, everything's going to go great. Feel like we're going to make some decent money. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this parked back up, going to get the international hooked up. Actually, I'm going to get all this unhooked, and then we are going to drive up to the dealership, and we're going to take a look at a few pieces of equipment, if there's any up there that we're really looking at, because I know I'd like to buy a new harvester eventually, and I got to see how much money that's going to be. So let me just get all this put up, get the header trailer unhooked from the pickup, and then we'll take a drive up there to the dealership and see what all they got up there in the dealership lot that we could possibly hopefully buy and get a loan for to buy. Alright, so got everything all unhooked and put up pretty much where it needed to be, and we are almost up here to the dealership. And there is a certain harvester up here that I'm wanting to get, and it's a John Deere 9650. And they also got a couple of bean headers up here from what I heard, and a 12-row and an 8-row corn head. And it looks like they got quite a bit of variety of equipment up here, so let's just go ahead and pull into the dealership here and see what all they got to offer. We might end up having to get us a little side-by-side as well eventually over time, but harvesters, so let's just go ahead and go right over here, and we'll just pull off, and we'll see what we got, because there's a couple of pieces of equipment that I'd like to try to eventually buy. We got the 9670 STS, and then we also got the 9650 John Deere. It looks like it comes with about the standard size pipe, which is all we need, hopefully. And from what the dealership guy said, it should be unlocked. So let's just... Oh yeah, this thing's nice. This thing is nice. Ooh boy, I need to see how much they want for that. I'm thinking that harvester there. Maybe this is what, a 30-foot bean head? This 30-foot bean head right here. Yeah, I think we'll go with this here. 30-foot bean head probably. We might get the prairie wind system put on it if we're able to. There's the 8-row corn head. I mean, ooh, we don't really do much harvesting, but when we do, I'd like to get it done. And there's a 12-row. We might just have to start with the 8-row for the beginning, but I mean, we do have a 12-row for our gleaner, so we'll probably just go with the 12-row with that as well. And then that's too expensive for our blood right now. And another thing that I was wanting to look at was one of these. I'd like to get a skid steer just to move stuff around the farm, and then maybe this Schaefer, like little telehandler here, or telehandler front loader or whatever. I'd like to get that for the farm as well. We'll just need a couple of bale hook for it, and because I know that should lift over the top of our forage mixer, well, our TMR mixer. We definitely got to get us a wrapper sometime. And then also, they got a nice selection of balers out here. What all do we got? We got a Fendt, we got a Krone, but they don't have a K brand. That Krone is out of the new straw DLC that just came out, so that's where that came from. But yeah, that looks like what we're going to try to do. Yeah, so that telehandler right there, or that little front loader, should reach over the top of that. That is actually one that they must be selling on the shop. Also, another thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to upgrade our mowers. So we'll just have to wait for Nate, the dealership man, to get on, and we'll have to go contact the bank, see how much he wants for the 9650, the bean head, the 12-row corn header, a telehandler, that little shaped telehandler over there, the New Holland skid steer and probably the mower setup, and then we'll go from there, because if we get that new mower setup, we'll probably sell our old hay bind. Obviously, we'll sell our gleaner and everything like that as well. Let me get back down to the farm because we got to get some hay raked. Well, we got to get some grass raked up into hay. It's been drying for a while today, so I mean we should be able to good to go out there and just go and use the old trusty Farm King rake to do the raking and the heading all at the same time. And then next episode will be us starting to bale that up and getting it all put into the barn, and hopefully next episode we'll have all that stuff. We'll be able to go buy it, sell the old stuff, get it all back down to the farm, and then I'd like to do some upgrades to the pickup. I'd like to make it a dually because I want to get a gooseneck trailer to put on the back of this to haul some of our smaller stuff. But yeah, let me get down here to the farm, get the mower hooked up, get the windrow rotator hooked up, and then I'll see you guys at the field. Alright, so here we are at the grass field, getting all this Ted windrowed, and these windrows, putting two of these together, tedding it, flipping it over into one singular windrow. These things are pretty massive, and our yield, from the way that the yield monitor was looking, it said our yield was fairly good on this field. So I mean, we should get a decent amount of bales out of here. I mean, we rolled it, we limed it, we fertilized it, everything was good to go. I mean, I think this year we won't roll it, we'll just fertilize it, lime it, and just let it regrow. I'm hoping I can get another cut off of it this year. I should be able to where we can make enough feed for the cattle, because now that it is July, they have started going through that meadow grass. They're a decent ways through the meadow grass, actually. They are now they're down to 25,741 liters of meadow grass, and I think it was like 9,000 liters of actual feed, which is the 597 liters total mixed ration, and then the rest of it's just hay bales that I was able to put in there. Well, that I had tested the other day for Nate. I tested something for him with his sheep pasture, and it didn't work, so I ended up having one of his hay bales in my TMR mixer. I just took it, put it in the cow pen, and was able to just use that. He told me I could go and keep it in there because there was really no way for me to unload it into either of his pens. You know, he had at the time pigs, but now he just is down to the sheep, and he's actually making quite a bit of wool from it so far. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to go and get in here, shut the camera off, get this field all windrowed up and headed, and then I got to see if one of the other guys have a rake on the server that I can use to be able, well, a rake, a windrow, or whatever, to see if I can use it to go back there and rake up all the straw in the wheat field into bigger rows to where we aren't having such a tough time getting all that stuff baled up and everything instead of looking for them little windrows. But if you guys are liking this series, you guys, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you would like to see it continue, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and sharing and commenting doesn't hurt either. But with that being said, everybody, I will see you guys on the next one.